Solar financing costs have gone through the roof. Just in the past 18 months, we've seen dealer fees rise over 40% and interest rates over 10%. Why would anybody ever want to finance solar on these terms? In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you the new way to finance solar with no money down, lower interest rates, and a super fast online application.
The smarter way to go solar.
All right, now in today's video, we're talking about the new way to finance your solar system. And when we talk about solar financing, there's really two main options that we're looking at, either a solar loan or a solar lease, or a PPA, power purchase agreement. Now, with the solar loan, typically you're going to set up 100% financing for the project cost, and you can finance the cost of the system over a long term, let's say 10, 15, or even 20 years. And the idea is that if you term out the loan long enough, you can get a monthly payment for your solar system that is close to on par with what your electric bill savings is. So the idea here is that you can use your electric bill savings to help pay, or in some cases, to cover your monthly cost of paying your debt service on your solar loan. But there are a number of disadvantages with solar loan. The biggest one, of course, is the high dealer fees. Now, when we talk about dealer fees, we're talking about the amount that you have to borrow over the true cash cost of the project that is basically paid as a fee to the bank right off the top of your loan. So right now, as of this recording in the beginning of 2025, we're seeing dealer fees that can be as high as 20%, 30%, even 40% of the total project cost. Meaning that whatever the contract price offered by your contractor, up to 40% of that amount could be taken right off the top and paid to the bank as a fee before the contractor even sees the first dollar. Now, even though that is a fee to the bank, it still results in a higher loan amount to you as the homeowner, which means that if and when it comes time to pay off that loan, you're paying off a much higher amount than if you had just paid cash for the system or used a financing with lower dealer fees or origination fees. The other problem with the solar loan is that you still have a lien against your property. And although technically a solar loan is not collateralized by the house itself, there typically will be a fixture filing of some sort registered at the courthouse, registered to your address. So if it comes time to refinance the home mortgage or to sell the home, you're going to have to address that lien. So a solar loan encumbers your title the same way as a home mortgage would. Now, the other way to finance a solar project is, of course, using a lease or a power purchase agreement. Now, when you use a lease or a power purchase agreement, you don't actually own the solar power system. The company that installs it or the company that provides the lease financing will typically own that asset, and they will own whatever tax credits are associated with that asset. And then you just make the monthly lease payment to the financing company. But the problem with the lease financing option is that typically you're going to get hit with an escalator, meaning that your monthly payment is going to increase each year as the lease ages. So whereas with a fixed interest, fixed rate financing, your monthly payment is set at the beginning and it doesn't change, with a lease, typically you're going to see your monthly payment increase 2 to 3% per year every year of the lease. And these lease terms are typically 20 or 25 years long. So you're not really going to get the long-term financial savings with the lease that you would if you own the system. And of course, with the lease, you're sacrificing any potential investment tax credit benefit that comes with the solar system as well. The other problem with the lease is that oftentimes you're going to get hit with prepayment penalties, or you're going to be stuck having to make all of the lease payments or whatever the remaining lease payments are if you choose to pay off that lease early if you have to sell or transfer the property. So for a number of reasons, the lease is not a desirable financing solution. So that's why we're talking about today the new way to do solar financing, and specifically we're talking about the Figure HELOC. A HELOC, and the Figure HELOC in particular, have a number of advantages when you compare to traditional solar loans. The first is oftentimes you can get a lower interest rate than with a solar loan. Now, of course, with a home equity line of credit, your home itself is serving as collateral for the loan, but because that loan is secured by that property, you typically can qualify for lower interest rates. Now, another major advantage of using the Figure HELOC is the lower origination fee. Now, for solar loans, they call it dealer fee. In the world of HELOCs, it's known as an origination fee. But it's whatever the fees are that need to be paid at the time of closing the loan in order to get that financing established. But whereas a solar loan might come with a dealer fee of 20, 30, or even up to 40%, typically with the Figure HELOC, you're never going to see origination fees more than 5% of the total project amount. So it significantly reduces the amount that you have to borrow and, of course, the amount that you would pay off should you choose to pay off that balance early. And then another major advantage of using the Figure HELOC is that the interest that you pay on the loan is potentially tax deductible. Now, I should say as a disclaimer, I'm not a tax professional. I'm not giving any tax advice here. So be sure to consult with your tax professional to determine your eligibility for any solar tax credits or any interest write-off that might be available from the Figure HELOC. And another advantage of the HELOC is that it is a revolving open line of credit, meaning that you can make multiple draws. So let's say you do an initial solar installation and there's a chunk of cash, let's say $25,000 or $27,000 to do the initial solar install. You can draw once for that. And then let's say down the road, 1 or 2 years later, you decide to add battery storage or an electric vehicle charger, you can draw on that line of credit again. Everything is already established as far as the origination, your interest rate. So basically you're just drawing funds as needed as you expand your solar system capacity without having to go through a cumbersome application process again. Here, let's take a look at an example. Okay, now in this example, we're looking at a 9 kilowatt solar system financed using a traditional solar loan or the Figure HELOC. Now in this example, we're looking at a 10-year loan term. Now the cash price for a 9 kilowatt solar system, give or take, as of this recording, as we're going into 2025, is about $27,000 for a full service installation. Now again, this is assuming you want the contractor to take care of everything for you. You as the homeowner just write the check. They take care of the construction, the permitting, the inspections, and all the paperwork with the power company. Now in this example, if you use a 10-year solar loan at 7.99%, you're going to pay an origination fee or a dealer fee of $4,277. Now, the solar salesman may not even tell you that there's an origination fee. He may just show you a higher contract amount or a higher loan amount, but those fees are basically baked in to the financing. So even though you're not paying that out of pocket at the time that you sign up, those fees are being passed on to you in the form of a higher install cost. So with a 10-year 799 solar loan with this amount and these terms, you'd be looking at a monthly payment of $379 per month or a total of payments of $45,480 over the entire 10-year term of the loan. Now let's look at the Figure HELOC in comparison. That same $27,000 solar project would have an origination fee of approximately $1,347, so we can get you the lower interest rate. Now, this origination fee would be paid at the time of closing. Of course, this would be disclosed as an origination fee. And so your loan amount is still just that $27,000, which is your project cost, the amount that has to be paid to your contractor. Now, on the Figure HELOC at 10 years and 7.05%, you'd be looking at a monthly payment of only $314 per month. So in this example, that's a monthly savings of $65 a month. But if we extend that over the entire 10-year term of the loan, you'd be looking at a total of payments of only $37,680 or a total savings of $7,800 over the course of the 10-year loan term. And again, this is for a typical 9 kilowatt grid-tied only solar system. Now, that's not to mention any mortgage interest tax deduction that might also apply to this amount of payments. But again, we're not tax professionals here. Make sure that you consult your tax professional, your tax advisor, to find out your eligibility for any solar tax credits or any home equity loan or mortgage interest tax deduction. So this has been a discussion of the new way to finance solar and specifically looking at the Figure HELOC. I know a lot of times there's misconception out there that a solar loan is safer because there's no lien against your house. But the reality of it is, whether you do a direct home equity loan where the house is collateral, or you do a solar loan where the solar finance company is going to make a fixture filing against your property, one way or the other, these financing options have to be addressed if it's time to refinance or sell your property. And I think what we've shown in this video is that there's a number of advantages with using a home equity line of credit compared to a traditional solar loan. So if you'd like to learn more information, you can go directly to the Figure website. You can complete an easy online application in as little as 5 minutes, and if approved, receive your funding in as little as 5 days. Well, that pretty much does it for today's video. By the way, guys, if you're getting good value from the videos that you watch here on Solar Surge, make sure you give us a thumbs up. And go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well if you haven't done so already. That way, as we have new videos coming out, it'll come up on your feed so you can stay up to date with everything. Now, if you're a homeowner, if you're in the process of looking at different solar options for your home, maybe you're looking at different financing options for that solar project as well. If you need to get a price quote, or if you already have a quote and you just need to get a comparison quote to make sure that you're getting the right equipment and getting the best deal, as always, you can feel free to reach out to us on the link below here. Set up a call with a Solar Surge expert, or just use the free online quote tool so you can see how much solar and battery storage costs in your area. Well, that does it for today's presentation. I thank you all for spending some more time on the Solar Surge channel. And as always, I'm Joe Ordia here, encouraging you to get prepared and be empowered. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.